Hi guys. So I got a tag video from Primal Punch on the knife that started it all. Well, I was pretty much born with a knife in my hand. The first knife I ever got was one that was not unlike this one at all. And I got it when I was 2 years old. My grandfather saw that I started to have the ability to use tools, and he had a little pocket knife like this that he carried on him, just more or less had it beside the chair while he was trimming his nails or whatever, and he noticed that I liked it an awful lot, and I would always kind of mess with it and stuff like that, so he just gave it to me. But I was 2 years old. I don't even think I was really old enough to know what it was really, but just the fact that it had a little blade on it, and I thought that was pretty cool. So there you go. When I was 6 years old, I got a better folding knife. It was a lot like this one, except it was a buck knife. This one's a case, but yeah. So right now I pretty much keep these two because it's good to have to, you know, take care of calluses and whatnot, because I've got rough feet. But before that, I've always had an affinity for knives. It's just in my blood. You know, my mom's side of the family is very attuned to knives. That's the easiest way of saying is that they have an uncanny affinity for blades. That's what they do. Everything from pretty much, if it's an edge, if it has an edge on it whatsoever, they can sharpen it, and they have. And there was actually one of our family business at one time was to make the rotary tools that you would put on, say, like a Dremel tool or something like that, and you would use that to grind a flashing off of a molded part or something like that. You know, just kind of like a deburring tools, more or less. And what they would do is they would hand grind these from carbide or high-speed steel or whatever. So one of the things that's kind of a family trait is the fact that we really can feel a good edge. And I mean, a lot of people can feel a good edge, but my family could really do it very well. I had some of that passed down to me, and I learned quite a bit about that from my mother. Actually, she was a hand tool grinder for the business for a long time, and of course the business went under as the later years went on. But but that's what she did, and she could always feel a really good. She could always tell a really good edge, and she would basically sit me down and give me a knife and a stone and tell me to sharpen and sharpen and sharpen and sharpen and sharpen, and you know, gave me an old knife and here, sharpen this, and basically that's what I did for a long time, and it took quite a while for me to get used to laying a good edge on a knife. Eventually I got it, but it just took a while. But she would always go through that edge, and she'd tell me exactly where it was weak and where it wasn't, and where it was sharp and where it wasn't, and where, you know, so on and so forth. So that's how I learned a lot of things. But honestly, you know, that's just the way it is for me. Is knives are in my blood. Knives have always been in my blood, and that's just the way it is. I had a great grandfather that was a moonshine runner, and he was very accomplished as a knife fighter and such as that. Even when he was 8 years old, somebody was in his son's shop, my grandfather's shop, who is the one who made the family business, and somebody was bad-mouthing him, and even at 8 years old, he had the guy down, had the knife right up to his neck, done. You know, his mother, my great-grandfather's mother, so she would be my great-great-grandmother, was a full-blooded Cherokee Indian. That's, you know, and her husband came home one night, drunk, and started talking against the Indians, and she took him down and had the kitchen knife up against his throat. So, you know, that's just the way my family has been. They're not afraid of knives for sure, and that's just the way it is. So, anyway, just thought I'd share that a little bit, and thanks, Primal, for the tag, and for those of you that are checking this out, definitely check out Primal's channel if you haven't so far. He's a really good guy. He's a really great guy, down to earth. And I'm telling you, try that ZFJ Zombie Fire Django workout. Man, it kills you, but it's a good one. It's a good one. Trust me. Trust me, it's a good one. Alright, so anyway, thanks, guys. Okay, so who to tag? Who to tag? Alright, first off, if you're watching the video, you're tagged. That's kind of my general thing now. I'm going to tag 3 other people on top of that. One of them is going to be straight out. Is a newer channel. Just kind of blipped up on my radar there for a second, so I'm going to go ahead and throw a tag at her. Krysta Blade. So that's one tag. The next tag is going to be Loyal to Law. It's a great channel. Great channel. I mean, this guy's abilities. The guy's got skills. The guy has a lot of skills. So I mean, he's really skilled. So yeah, check him out if you haven't already. And the third guy I'm gonna tag. It's time, brother. You know who I'm talking to. UncleCow. Hell yeah. UncleCow, you, sir, are tagged. So, let's see what you guys come up with for the knives that are to blame for your craziness. Have a good night. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your time. Defend your homes wisely.